shifting here.
Wonderful. Heart wonderful. It's a new word.
We're wonderful. You can't complain about that. That's fantastic. It was perfect, but we're going to have to settle for wonderful. We'll take that. First off, thank you very much for coming today, guys. Again, we really are excited about this. This is the launch, the absolute launch, first time ever for the Cultural Heritage Guide for Ulster County. I always think the same thing. It only took us a few hundred years to get this right, but it was worth the wait. I encourage everyone to be able to not only take a look at the Cultural Heritage Guide, but to make sure it's available to everybody. It will be everywhere Ulster County tourism material is going to be, and it highlights one of the great strengths that we have as a county, amazing history. And so when we look at the Cultural Heritage Guide, I also think we have taken kind of the best of both worlds, both really highlighted some of our historical gems and simultaneously used modern technology with QR codes on the back. So smartphones can be able to use to access ulstercountyalive.com, as well as the maps that are inside. We've always believed that attracting cultural tourists to our community are critical. The basic business model is simple. Cultural tourists spend more money when they come to visit a community than any other tourist. And so we encourage people to come and see what we have to offer. When you open it up, you can't help but be moved when you realize what amazing places we get to live in, and now we get to share with the rest of the world. And so I remember as a young child walking through historic Huguenot Street and thinking to myself, my goodness, what other people have walked these streets? What has gone on in this community? Or been at the Trolley Museum and think how instrumental that was to our entire history. Or today, standing here in this museum that really is dedicated, the Fred Johnson Museum, dedicated to really capturing a moment in time in our community and really preserving it for so many people, for the future generations and for everyone else. We're really excited about the opportunity to share that with the outside world, and we believe through ulstercountyalive.com and the Cultural Heritage Guide, we will have an opportunity to do that better than ever before. Now, joining me today are Rick Remsteiner, the Ulster County Tourism Director, Peter Roberts, President of the Board of Directors of Friends of Historic Kingston, and Amy Stroop from the 1850 House. And by the way, if you ever get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. It's beautiful. We were just talking earlier, I had the opportunity to be able to speak to the Tourism Advisory Board, and that's something that's really important as a county. We reach out to the businesses and identify the best strategies that work for them as well. And at one of those meetings, we had the opportunity to have it at the 1850 House, and it is breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. But what I'll tell you is there are other breathtaking sites in Ulster County as well. So we're so fortunate, just down the street from here. How many stone houses, how many places are like that in the entire country? None. None. So we're really excited about having this beautiful place, whether it's the city of Kingston, all the history that comes with that, our entire county, which is absolutely breathtaking. And so with that, I would like to ask the guy who I think has the easiest job in the world, selling Ulster County.
Wow.
So, he doesn't always think it's the easiest. And hey, I will tell you, we're so proud of the efforts. We have transitioned how we show off what we think is some such strong suits here in Ulster County. And that really is through ulstercountyalive.com, and Rick and his team and everyone have been so instrumental in making that a reality. And so with that, I'd like to introduce Rick Remsteiner. Rick, thanks.
Well, the only reason I have an easy job other than all the wonderful assets we have here in Ulster County is I have a great boss.
This is getting better already.
And not only is he a great guy, but he has, since he's been the county executive, has done a great job with supporting our department. And only because of his support are we able to produce things like the Cultural Heritage Guide. And another thing, we're working for the county executive, he covers all the salient points, so I really don't have to say a whole heck of a lot, except to say I want to thank all the people from the historic sites for showing up en masse. I really appreciate that. I want to thank Jane Keller for hosting this here at the Johnston Museum. It's a wonderful place, and that makes my job easy, because when we have tourists, places like this, they want to see them, and that's why we have the Cultural Heritage Guide. It's, we're highlighting 31 historic sites. We have a full color map, which is a nice thing for people, tourists to see, obviously. And as the county executive stated, we are distributing this all over the county, and we're also putting it on New York State Thruway, so people coming up from the city will have these in their hands. So with that, thank you very much, and we appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much, Rick. You know, I would say I think Rick probably doesn't have the easiest job. He probably has one of the harder ones because he has to choose between so many different historical sites, so many different amazing places for people to visit. That probably is awfully hard to do. So we're encouraging people not just to come for the day or the weekend, but to stay for an entire week right here in Ulster County and really get a chance to understand the beautiful heritage that we have and understand all the amazing, beautiful places that we have here as well. And with that, I get to talk to Peter Roberts. He has the easiest job. Is the president of the board of directors for the Friends of Historic Kingston.
Thanks, Mike, and I'm pleased to welcome Mike Hein and also Ulster County Tourism. I do have a great job because I don't have a boss at all. I'd like to tell you briefly about the Friends of Historic Kingston. We have a really great mission towards our community, towards our county, and that involves three different points. The first is preservation of our historic and our varied architecture. Second mission is the education of our citizens and our visitors about Ulster County and about Kingston. And thirdly, we maintain a very nice collection of archives, which includes old photographs and other pieces that are relevant to Kingston. We also maintain two museums. You're in the gallery now. It's currently Postcards of Kingston. There's also a corresponding book that Pat Murphy, who's here today, put together on the Postcards of Kingston, which is a great history of Kingston. So I'm pleased to welcome you all here, and I hope you'll all come back and visit. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're doing just fine. To me, again, this gets to be the fun events that I get to do. So much of being county executive can be a challenge, but it is no challenge at all to be able to talk about the amazing places that we get to live in, that we get to visit, and we get to share with people. And so with that, Amy Stoop from 1850 House is going to say a few words as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
I guess what I want to say is just thank you to everyone who puts so much love and effort into all of these buildings and creating such a neat guide for someone like me to make use of, because it's always lovely for us to be able to have something to hand to guests who are traveling here and aren't as familiar, to keep them here in town and help the economy and help keep everybody interested in this area. And Ulster County has such a great structure and support from everyone who's involved in it that it makes our job so much easier to get our guests enthusiastic about the area as well, and it helps us out certainly by bringing them up here. So a guide like this is great for me to be able to hand out, so we're very excited about this product and what it'll bring for people who are looking to experience a little bit about our little corner of the world. So thank you very much for doing
Thank you
this.
so much, Amy. I really appreciate it. And so with that, I just want to continually remind everybody, we are uniquely positioned here in Ulster County with this amazing history, this wonderful, pristine environment, and less than 100 miles from 22 million people in the metro New York area, plus 50 million visitors to New York City annually. So what we are talking about is a very uniquely positioned community prepared to thrive, and the Cultural Heritage Guide will help us do exactly that. So to each and every one of the participants that helped make this a reality, I say thank you, and thank you to everyone for coming and really enjoying, and we encourage everyone again to enjoy the Cultural Heritage Guide here, our first ever, and hopefully one in a long, long line of many to come in the future. Thank you very much.